Well, I just have a chit chat video for you today. I'm talking about menopause at my age, and I'm talking about a few other things, just a mishmash. So stay tuned. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here today. In today's video, I think I'm just going to be all over the place. I'm talking about menopause. Yeah, I'll be 73 in a couple weeks, and I'm talking about menopause. But I have questions. I'm curious. I'm a very curious person. And I guess I'm just trying to figure out, am I the only one that lives under a rock or has lived under a rock? Or was this just the way it was during the times? I just need to talk about this and get some clarification. I also want to tell you about something that I did that is exciting to me. And again, you know, I'm so late to every party. I'm so naive. I'm so far behind the times. I do live under a rock. And I got something to tell you that I did that's very exciting to me, but you guys probably did it when you were teenagers. So let me go ahead and get started and quit rambling, and I hope you can deal with this video. I don't know if I have just always lived under a rock or just didn't know anything, but we never made a deal of it back when I was going through menopause. Now, I went through it at the age of 47, 48, somewhere in there. And it was rough. I mean, it was rough. I had all the symptoms that I hear people talking about, especially the night sweats and the hot flashes. Oh my gosh. The night sweats were the worst. You know, my hair would get soaking wet. It looked like I just got out of the shower. And we would wake up and have to change the sheets in the middle of the night because my side was all wet. The sheets were wet. You have the mood swings. You have, oh gosh, you know all the changes and different things that can happen to some people. I don't know if they happen to everybody, but I'm sure everybody gets something. Well, I never heard about or talked about or knew anybody that was on HRT, or hormone replacement therapy. Now, is it just because we didn't talk about it then? Was other people on it, but it's just not something you discussed? I don't know. Like nowadays, you can watch YouTube videos, and my goodness, almost everybody that is at that age is talking about their symptoms and how miserable they are and how disruptive those symptoms are in their lives, and how they go and get, estrogen, and then they might have to try progesterone and then testosterone and wear patches and all these things. I didn't know any of that even existed. So is that because I just lived under a rock? Or if you are in my age group, did you not talk about it either, or not hear about it, or not even consider it? Now, maybe back then it was considered, you know, dangerous, or it could cause other problems. I think I remember hearing once that it could cause breast cancer and things like that. I don't know if that was all dispelled and now, you know, it's so different and it doesn't cause those problems and it just really helps with your symptoms. I don't know the answers to any of those things. We just looked at it as it was a part of life. If you're a woman, you're going to go through menopause, and you may struggle with some pretty severe symptoms. Some people not so much. Some people, oh my gosh, it can be really bad. but it's part of life. So you just go through it. And that's the way that it was, at least for me. Now, like I said, maybe other people that are the same age as me, maybe they took the HRT and all that stuff. I have no idea. But I know different things I used to do, like carry those little, like ice sticks. You know, it's kind of like an ice pack, but they're in the shape of like a tube about this tall and maybe this big around. And I would stick them in my pockets. And when I felt a hot flash coming on, then I'd put my hands in my pockets and grab onto those ice pack things just to cool my body down. You know, at 47, 48, I was still working. I was working out in the public. So, I mean, you had to go to work every day, hot flashes or none, you know, mood swings or not. It didn't matter. You know, that wasn't an excuse to stay home or say, well, I can't come to work today because these hot flashes are just killing me. I just can't take it. So you just sucked it up and went through life as normal. That's all you could do. But it seems like in today's world, the people that are in their late 40s or maybe early 50s and they're just entering that stage, you know, they just can't take it. They don't want to deal with all those symptoms. And maybe there's just so much more available out there now to help with those things. I don't know. So I'm really curious if anybody that is around my age, maybe a few years younger, maybe a few years older, did you know, hear about HRT or maybe find some medical help and do some kind of HRT to help you through that transition in life? Or were you raised to believe it's just part of life, suck it up, it happens to everybody, you're not unique, you're not different, you're not worse off than the next person, just live with it? That's how I was raised, and I never thought anything of it. I was very grateful when all those things subsided, but you know that takes years, a lot of years, to really get through the whole process. And of course, when all your hormones change like that, everything changes. They say you're at a higher risk for heart disease and you age quicker. It affects your skin, your hair, everything. So maybe that's why people now do HRT. Well, I don't know if it affected my skin and my hair. I mean, my hair is very thick for someone that's soon to be 73. So I'm very grateful that I didn't have any issues with thinning hair and that. My skin, yes, it is dry, it is crepey, it is wrinkly, but would it be anyhow if I had taken HRT? I mean, does that just, you know, come along with, again, it's part of life. When you get in your 70s, your skin is going to get more crepey and more wrinkled. I don't know that either. Anybody that can answer that question, I would appreciate it. Now, I'm not thinking at this age, oh, maybe I'll go on HRT. No, if I made it from 47 to 73, then, you know, I'll make it the rest of the way. It's kind of too late to go back there and start over. We had a lot of different home remedies and things you could do to try to help the symptoms, but it was not medication or prescription drugs or anything like that. Now, I totally understand that if there's something that can give you some relief and you don't have to suffer with all the symptoms, that someone may want to do something like that. But I don't know. I never thought of it as suffering. I didn't like it. I didn't like having wet hair in the middle of the day when you're at work, or you can see sweat running down your face. But again, it was just the way that it was. But I don't call that suffering. Not at my age. You know, when you get in your 70s, suffering is when you see people, you know, dying from cancer and severe pain from arthritis or different things. It's not, you know, having a hot flash or night sweats. That's just not the way that I see it. But maybe some people do, and to each his own. There are just a lot of things in life that we may have to go through that you can't do anything about. Or maybe you choose not to do anything about. Maybe it's all in how you look at it, you know, your own perspective on things. That seems to make more sense to me. Of course, you know, how you're raised can have a lot to do with your approach to something like that. We weren't raised where we got medical treatment. We didn't go to doctors. We never got vaccines and shots and this and that. So, you know, I wasn't in that atmosphere. Maybe if I had been and there was something available back then, who knows? But again, anything that's just part of life, I just kind of accept it. Now, I was telling the truth in the beginning when I said, you know, have I always just lived under a rock? Well, yeah, I kind of did. I always did. I was way behind the game in everything. You know, naive, just don't know a lot what's going on, don't get into all that stuff. In fact, there's one thing I want to share with you before I end this video. I recently got my ears pierced. Yeah, I got a second hole. Let me get closer so you can see. I've had this hole, but I got a second one. You can barely see. It's a little gold ball right there. I can't believe I finally got it done. I got my ears pierced for the very first time on my 40th birthday. My goodness, back in high school, girls were piercing their own ears with hat pins and ice cubes and different things like that. And of course, I never did it. Well, when I was 40, I went ahead and got my ears pierced. And I loved it. And ever since then, I always wanted a second hole. But it just wasn't a priority. I just never did anything about it. And recently I was thinking, I never did get that second hole in my ears. Well, I'm going to be 73. It's either now or never. I mean, I've waited 30 years, almost 33 years, thinking about getting a second hole. So it took me 40 years to get my first hole and 33 years to get the second hole. But I got it, and I'm excited about it. Of course, I have to leave these little earrings that they put in for 6 weeks, and then I can wear whatever ones I want. And I got it done at the dermatology office. And I thought that was fantastic because when I took one of my grandsons to get his ear pierced, I took him to Claire's, and this was a few years ago, and it cost $69 to get it done in a place like Claire's. And here I'm in a medical facility, a medical practice, where you know everything is sterile. It's done by a dermatologist, and it was only $45. And that included the little earring that they put in there. So that was exciting. And now, as I keep looking at these two, I think, should I go for one more? Maybe one more hole, just 3. I don't know if I will or not, but I kind of want to. It's like now I'm at an age where, how many more years do I have left to do some little things that I want to do that other people did back years and years ago? And here I am again, under the rock, behind the times. So I just might do a third one. Well, this video probably sounds crazy because I went from menopause to get my ears pierced. I don't know what I was thinking. I just get these things on my mind and in my head, and then I just want to talk about them and I want to share them with you. So if you could leave me a comment, if it's not too personal for you, and just let me know if you had HRT, if you're in my age group, or you didn't, or how you felt about it, or I could be the only one that didn't have it or didn't know about it. It's not like I made a choice. I didn't even know it existed. No doctor ever mentioned it. Well, how would they? I don't go to the doctors, but my mother never mentioned it. So where else would I learn about it from? So thanks so much for listening to my rambling. And now I better leave you with a good inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip today comes from Romans 11:6. If they could be made God's people by what they did, God's gift of grace would not really be a gift. So who does God offer this gift of grace to? Everyone, all of his children. Is it just to the brightest, the most intelligent, successful, the most beautiful people? No, it's to all of us, and he meets us where we're at. We come with an as-is tag. He takes us just the way we are. Is he going to wait until we no longer fall into temptation? I don't think so. Is he going to wait until we finally get it and do things right? No. He died for us when we were all sinners. His sacrifice was not dependent on our performance. Not at all. That gift of grace and mercy is something to behold, to cherish, to always remember. Never feel like God has given up on you or abandoned you, or that you have to achieve perfection just for him to offer that gift to you, because you don't. He will take you just as you are, and he is ready to give you grace each and every day in every situation. Never forget that. Thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.